This is the Get Geekish podcast. Thanks so much for joining us once again. I'm Bino, and my co-host over there is Derek. Good afternoon.
Woo!
Good evening. Good night. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. How's it going?
Something like that.
Truman Show. We got movies on the brain because we figured just about every year we do a little a preview, if you will, of some of the big movies that are coming out in the upcoming year. So we're going to talk about some of the 2023 movies. And if you've listened to the podcast before, you know that we were not thoroughly impressed with a lot of movies from 2022. There was a lot of letdowns, there was a lot of hype, and a lot of like, what the heck did I just watch? But so far in 2023, I'm feeling fairly good about it. We watched Glass Onion, which was a Netflix movie, but that was more entertaining than I thought it was going to be.
It was released in the theaters.
Was it? No,
Yeah.
Okay. I watched it at home. I'm that guy. But it was better than I thought it was going to be. And then my daughter's been obsessed with Megan, so we went and saw Megan on opening weekend. And that was way better than I thought it had any right being. And it was pretty entertaining. And so it's giving me hope that maybe Hollywood turned their game around and we've got some actual good movies to look forward to this year.
I don't know. I'm also looking at the list. It seems to be another sequel fest.
Well, not only sequel, but like multiple sequels, like number 6, number 7, number 8 in the franchise. But you know,
yeah.
So it's since it's already January's almost done. I guess we should just skip ahead to February, right?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Yep. There's the first sequel right there.
That exists. I was never a big Magic Mike fan. I'm not against anybody liking Magic Mike. It just don't care.
The only thing that I can think of that I took from that movie is that Slurpee dance I did when we were in the radio.
That is true. That look it up on YouTube. Derek Slurpee dance. It's great for a laugh. Just saying. I'm in there too. But we also have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania,
which we just got a new trailer for that
Mm-hmm.
a few days ago from the recording this video, and MODOK is in it.
Oh, the actual MODOK, not just the tease of like a picture in the mirror, like from the Captain America movie. I have to watch the new trailer.
Did you not watch the trailer?
I haven't watched the new one yet. I saw the last one. I was excited because I keep getting like this tepid excitement because the last few Marvel movies have been so hyped up in my head that I've been thoroughly let down that I'm trying to not let myself get too excited about Quantumania. But just about everything I've seen about it makes me really, really excited.
Oh yeah, you need to watch that new trailer. I'm excited about it. Plus, Bill Murray's in it as well, so as something. So it's going to be interesting to see what he voices in that movie. I'm sure we could probably Google it, but
I kind of want it to be a surprise. Yeah, I want to know, but I don't want to know enough to do extra work.
Right.
Let's see. We're moving down the line. We got Creed 3 because the Rocky franchise just keeps spinning.
Well, right away. So you're looking at the 3 movies that you've named off so far, sequels, and like you said, that's legacy sequels. It's like, it's moving on. It's not the second. It's the 6th, the 7th.
Well, it's interesting because I'm not being into all these movies. All these are the most hyped, anticipated movies according to IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and Screen Rant and stuff like that because they are the big studio movies, lots of money behind them. But I'm also hoping there's some gems because I remember on this podcast from, was it last year or 2 years ago, you were telling me all about this weird movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I had no idea what the hell you were talking about. And I watched it, and that was one of my favorite movies of last year. But no idea about what it was. And I look at some of these other, the list of movies coming out, and there's dozens and dozens of them every month. And most of you see the names. I've never heard this before. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. So I'm hoping there's some gems built in there. But these are pretty much the big budget ones I've got a list of right now.
This big budget one, which seems weird that I'm excited about, is 65. So that's the one where Adam Driver goes, back in time with dinosaurs and stuff.
I honestly haven't seen the preview for it, in all honesty. This is interesting.
He landed on Earth 65 million years in the past. So it's all prehistoric. I'm excited. I mean, it's produced by Sam Raimi, scores composed by Danny Elfman. It has the potential to be really good. So
I don't know. I'd go see it by what I've seen.
Yeah, that's in March.
Then we have Scream 6.
Yep. Which is in New York for whatever reason.
That's another one. I just never got into the Scream franchise, and I know you get. I'm not a horror guy, so that I can check the mulligan off there. But how do a lot of these horror movies get this many sequels?
They, well, let's see. The Scream that came out last year was like a legacy sequel, kind of like a soft reboot, if you will, where it still tied in some of the old characters, but had like, I don't, they were like related somehow. I didn't watch it, but from what I heard, like it was well received. And then this one is just, I don't even know. I don't even know on this one.
Like a dude in a Walmart mask and a knife. Like how many stories can we get out of this?
Right?
I can say the same other things like Jason, the kitchen knife and a hockey mask, a dude with knife gloves. How many movies can you make out of those same tropes? But here we are. People love bloody scary stuff. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Another one that I am probably more excited about than I should be.
I'm also very nervous about it because of all the turmoil that's going on with DC right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they basically are kind of retconning the DC universe, if you
Mm-hmm.
will. I mean, they've already said that they're not going to make another Black Adam, and Henry Cavill's out as Superman, even though he was teased in Black. And it's just like, what's going on with this? And according to Zachary Levi, Shazam is still safe, but we'll see.
And let's be honest, I could watch Zachary Levi sit in a quiet room for 2 hours and probably be pretty happy about it. Like, but Shazam was one of those movies that I didn't think it was going to be any good when it came out. Loved the first one, and Black Adam ties a bunch of the Shazam universe. It was all right. It wasn't bad. I didn't have real high expectations for it, but it was a popcorn superhero movie. Good times, but
Mhm.
I just hope this one focuses on superheroing and it's not just a story of him and his brothers and sisters having fights with each other. Like if I feel like if this turns into what Marvel did with the Eternals, I'm not gonna like it. We have superpowers.
Good.
Let's talk about our family angst. No.
Could be.
Blow something up.
Next one that I'm excited about, John Wick Chapter 4.
Ugh. I'm in the
Dude,
I'm in the minority of this. This is the same thing for me as Breaking Bad, where it feels like everyone and their brother loves John Wick, and I'm like, okay.
did you not watch that? Oh, it's so good.
I watched the first one. I think I got mostly through the second one, and I don't care. Like it's not my thing.
Oh man. Another one that we're excited about, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. So hopefully they actually give Dungeons and Dragons the acclaim it deserves. Because I mean, there's been some Dungeons and Dragons movies in the past that have been god awful.
Mm. Well, my high hope is just the first trailer of this one that we watched. We watched it, and me and my wife looked at each other and like, this sounds like it's our D&D campaign. Like, the first sentence is like, that's exactly how it happens. So obviously, there's got to be at least a little bit of thought put into let's make this the way it should be. And
I hope so. I hope so.
well,
But I mean,
I wish there'd be something like this. I really wish that in the movie there could be a character that keeps dying, but the same actor comes back as a different character 3 or 4 times throughout the movie.
it might happen. It might happen. One that you and I have talked about where we're a little hesitant. In fact, I think a lot of people are, but I'm still optimistically excited for it. Is the Super Brothers the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Super. It'd be nice to see what there's some story with Super Mario Brothers because it looks like they're trying to do a little world building, whereas a lot of TV and movies with Super Mario Brothers before have just been out of left field, like, yeah, plumbers, cool, that's whatever.
My thing though is still Chris Pratt as Mario. You know, they have the supposedly the original Mario voice is like a cameo in the movie. Why didn't you just get? We've talked about this. Just why didn't you just get him?
I know, but see, I hopefully he does a good job with it. My biggest thing is voice actors in general. I hate when the movies have to get big name voice actors because when I'm listening to a character and I can hear specifically an actor that I know who that is, it takes me out of the character they're playing. It makes me unhappy when that happens.
I can say from the trailer that I've seen, Jack Black does a great job as Bowser. Charlie Day, great job as Luigi. Keegan Michael Key, great job as Toad. Those are the ones that we've heard, and I'm like, okay. And then Chris Pratt, I'm just like,
See, I also think that I'm assuming that this movie is going to be pretty heavy in dialogue, and the actual Mario voice from the games. If I had to listen to that for 2 hours doing heavy dialogue, I might want to stab myself in the ears. Like, I love it, but it's like little parts of a game. You go to something, like, oh yeah, it's little pieces. You got little bits and bits. But if you're having a long, drawn out conversation with that over enthusiastic, over Italian accent, it might be a little rough. But I don't know. That's just me.
Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Dead Rise. I mean, that's a fun franchise, so I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do with this. The trailer is gory as heck, so I don't know. We'll see.
Lots of blood. I just wish I missed the campy parts. Like I still think Army of Darkness is one of my favorite ones of those trailers because it goes a little more the campy side. But it seems like the new ones they're trying to go more down the scary, gory path. But
yeah, I mean it is a horror movie, so
it's straight up a horror movie. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's coming out in May. The last hurrah of a lot of Marvel actors, supposedly.
Yep. And the trailer looks kind of dark, too, so it's going to be interesting.
But I bet it has a great soundtrack.
Oh, 100%. And we actually get to see Adam Warlock, supposedly, in the movie as well. So
yeah, what's the kid's name that plays Warlock?
Will Poulter?
Yeah, I still cannot believe his transformation, his glow up, whatever you want to call it. I go back and look at him from Vacation and then see him as Warlock. I'm like, huh, you done good. Fast X. Is this really the 10th Fast and the Furious movie?
Yep.
Another one that I'm not a huge fan of. I did enjoy Hobbs and Shaw, but most of the rest of the franchise, like, maybe I'll watch 10 minutes of it if it shows on network TVs. I'm flipping through commercials doing something like that, but
Right.
Little Mermaid, live action.
I mean, Disney's been kind of hit and miss with their live action, so hopefully this one's good.
Yeah, they have been very upward, and the live action ones have been really good or really bad. So I think they're about due for a pretty good one, I think. And I don't think hopefully. That the only controversy I have is it going to suck or not? Like, June, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that one's the animation style is still. I can't believe there haven't been other places that have tried to copy that already because it's just. They're beautiful. Like, I could go sit through one of those Spider-Man movies with the sound off and still just, wow. Oh, look at that. Wow.
They're adding a lot to it, too. So I'm very excited to see where they're going to go and how they're going to incorporate other things and expand the universe. Another one that I'm cautiously optimistic for, Transformers Rise of the Beasts.
Rise. Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about Beast Wars before on this podcast and how it's like, but
if it follows the same heart and storytelling that Bumblebee did, I think it'll be good. But if it's going back to Michael Bay verse and they treat Beast Wars like they did the Dinobots, I might start throwing popcorn in the theater. Like,
from what I've seen, let's see, they take another step back in time after the 1980s set Bumblebee, taking viewers back to the mid-90s. So it's going to be the nostalgic feel of Bumblebee. So hopefully it's good. And we still have Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so I'll be seeing it for sure. I'm hoping it's good. And they look like there was some nice homage too, because I think I saw a good old fashioned red semi truck that might be before he becomes that thing else. A little throwback for the Transformers geeks. So fingers crossed on that. Then we have The Flash, which has it even still happening?
Yeah, it's still happening.
Even with all the Ezra Miller stuff, like.
Yeah, there been talks to bring him back, and I don't know. There's just DC is a mess right now, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens after Shazam and the Flash come out to see where James Gunn and they all take the DC universe. So
Yeah, they might have to go to like, maybe we don't need an interconnected universe. Let's just make a couple good movies.
right,
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
it's got to be better than Crystal Skull. Like,
Yes, but I also throw back, if you take Crystal Skull and just erase the last like 20 minutes of the movie, it's decent and fun and campy.
yeah,
The ending that they go with, it just rails it off the deep end. But up to that point, it was decent for what it is. Because Indiana Jones movies were campy as all get out from the get-go. But
yeah, I don't know. Well, I again cautiously optimistic.
Harrison Ford, I mean, he's going to do the whip crack and he's going to make some snarky jokes. It'll be a good time.
Right, grumpy old man.
Yep. I got Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I'm excited. I mean, the Mission Impossible, they've just turned into a fun popcorn flick. And then, knowing the stunts that Tom Cruise does, it just makes it lively.
Mm. And I was excited to see Simon Pegg on this big screen.
Oh yeah.
There were ones like the first Mission Impossible came out when I was in elementary, middle school, something like that, and loved it. And then they just kept coming with more, and I feel like the second and third one weren't that good, but I feel like we talked about this once before, they got better. Like
the second one is not good.
Yeah.
The third one's okay, but then they get progressively better because they kind of lean into the action part. They get rid of the spy part, which with the first movie was good, and then the second movie just went way too. The second movie was just yeah.
Then all the way into what month? July, we've got Oppenheimer,
which looks good.
Yeah, I saw the preview for that, and it was the father of the atomic bomb, and I have a feeling there's going to be some emotions in this movie.
Definitely, probably some Oscar bait in this. So,
but I've loved some of those little ones in the past. I loved the what was the Benedict Cumberbatch one? The Imitation Game. And Tesla and a couple other ones that were just good movies of the historical fiction, making more exciting stories about them. I'm excited for it.
Did you see who's in Oppenheimer? We got Cillian Murphy, Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Rami Malek, Josh Hartnett, who was one of our celebrity spotlights of last year, the year before that, where he basically kind of retired from acting. So it's kind of cool to see him back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, because you say those names, and I don't remember seeing many of them in the previews either, so they must be acting real hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Then we got The Marvels, which I still liked the first Captain Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, it's still fun.
I think it's all bent out of shape that I say I like it. What's wrong with it? Like, watching that movie with the 6-year-old girl who got so excited when she stood up and started fighting back, like, I'm like, all right, this is a great role model for you. Let's go with this.
I mean, the story overall was kind of, just superhero generic paste, but it's still a great movie, and they're going to tie in Miss Marvel, the TV series, with this, and I don't know. I'm excited to see kind of where they're going with this.
Yeah, I feel like this will tell us where Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, all that stuff will be headed in the near future, if they're going to be a part of things, or whether they're just going to fade away.
Right.
The Barbie movie.
Dude, I don't know why, but I am very excited for this movie. Like, the trailer that they did where, they made fun of 2001 Space Odyssey, like, this the intro. I was just like, I'm on board for this. This movie can be garbage, but this trailer made me very excited.
Every part of me wants to hate everything about this, but there's a little piece of me that thinks this might be on par with... Do you remember when the first Bring It On movie came out?
Oh, yeah.
It was a joke. They're making a cheerleader movie, and Bring It On was hilarious, and it was so making fun of itself a good time to watch, but it shouldn't have been.
Well, look at Spice World and Josie and the Pussycats as well. Those movies...
Did you just compare Bring It On to Spice World?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's along the same line, where you're just like they made a movie and then you watch it, you're like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, so
I don't
I'm hoping that's what it comes out of. That just has a very, off the cuff, random fun take on stuff. But it's yeah.
The only thing that I can say I'm disappointed about is they have, and this may be just like a misdirect, but they have said Barbie Girl by Aqua will not be played in the movie.
That's
So
probably a good thing.
okay.
August, we got the Blue Beetle. It was going to be specific for HBO Max, but eventually it's going to be a theatrical release now.
I haven't seen anything other than some screenshots,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a couple old trading cards that have the Blue Beetle on them. That's about all I've got, so I don't know anything about it. But apparently the main star, who I don't know how to pronounce his name, was also in Karate Kid series, the Cobra Kai series. So
okay, cool.
yeah. The Nun 2 in September, another horror movie.
Expanding that Conjuring universe. Speaking of expanding the universe, Quiet Place spinoff, I didn't even know that was in play.
I didn't either.
It's untitled. Okay.
I feel like that would be a fun way to do it, though, when you have the world that A Quiet Place created, but then a spin-off where it doesn't have anything to do with the characters, which I'm assuming means they don't have to pay the big bucks for the main characters, but just, seeing it from a different part of the world or a different perspective, or maybe something was handled a little differently could be fun.
Yeah.
I feel like that has to be a movie theater one. The first time we watched Quiet Place, I watched it down in my basement, and the sound kept cutting out, so it ruined so much of the movie, because it'd be dead silent, and you just sound would die, and then click, click, beep, 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 go back on, and you're like, you're taking me out of the moment, technology. What are you doing? Let's see, Kraven the Hunter.
Okay, so again, cautiously optimistic. I hope that they surprise us and maybe put Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in that. But I'm also reading this. Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be Kraven. He was Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. They got to stop doing that.
Yeah, but looks-wise, he looks way better as Kraven than he did as Quicksilver.
True. I will give him that.
The comic book historian in me, he was a tough look to pull off for Quicksilver. Like,
I don't know. So hopefully it's good.
The Exorcist, which I guess technically would this one be a reboot?
Yeah, I think it's a remake.
Oh, wait, it would.
It's first in a trilogy, so yeah. Huh. Okay.
I'll be darned. November, we got Dune Part 2, which will be long.
Yeah.
And I'll probably watch it. We talked about this before, too. I was not blown away by the Dune movie, but it wasn't bad. I just, oh, okay.
You watched it.
Dune. Okay. Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Which is a prequel. So it's going to follow the young President Snow. So that's going to be interesting to see. I know I bought my wife the book when it came out, but I don't think she's read it yet. So
yeah.
I don't know if it's any good.
That's what stuff when they do prequels for characters that have very specific looks, too. Because you wonder how you're going to find somebody that's got to look enough like somebody to pull that off for it. But I feel like Hunger Games, a lot of the cast were very, very specific looks to them. So interesting how the casting plays out for that. And in December, Wonka. This is going to be the origin story of a young Willy Wonka.
Do we need it? I mean, I'm excited that Rowan Atkinson's in it, but is this a movie that we needed?
It's tepid excitement of it's at least a Wonka something rather, but
yeah,
I'm just the original Wonka was dark, but it was fun loving. Then the Disney Wonkas acted like they were fun loving, but they were just weird.
Yeah.
The Color Purple.
I didn't know they are remaking that one.
Yep, another
Huh.
musical nabbed a Tony on its revival in 2016. Now it's a movie, which
All right.
a lot of musicals turn movies have not done well in my watching theories, but we'll see. Uh, a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Which is untitled.
I really loved Afterlife. Like I thought it was really well done. So
Isn't it crazy that we're in January of 2023, right? And they're announcing a movie coming out December 20th of 2023, starring To Be Determined. They don't even have the cast up for this yet.
makes me think that it might get pushed back, but hopefully not.
Probably. Probably.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom comes out right before Christmas. Jason Momoa.
I don't know. Again, with the DC universe being in that weird state that it is, this might be his last movie.
It might be, which is a shame because the Aquaman, the first movie, it was better than it should have been, but it was a very generic storyline. But I had to put my foot in my mouth because he made Aquaman a character that was like, okay, this guy's cool. Up to that point, it was I don't know how he managed to take that.
Right.
Then also have to be decided dates of The Nightingale, Legally Blonde 3.
Which I didn't know they were making a sequel to that.
I didn't either. A sequel. It's actually.
I mean, there's some good movies in there.
Yeah, I mean, of those big budget movies, that gives me a list. This is me or my soapbox rant for a minute. We got the whole Cinemark movie thing. It got upgraded to platinum over pandemic year. And this year, I think we only went to the movie theater maybe 5 or 6 times. And it wasn't for lack of trying or time to see anything. There was almost nothing to see.
Yeah.
It would be, hey, we should go to a movie and pull up the movies that are out. And you're like, never mind. We should go somewhere else.
So some movies that we didn't notate that I am excited about is Renfield. It is Nicolas Cage's Dracula. And
oh yeah, I forgot we saw the preview for that the other day. That looked really good.
Right? I'm excited for that. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's a horror movie. I'm excited for it just because I want to see what it is. And then Cocaine Bear, which just looks wild, and it's based on a true story, so I'm down for it.
How loosely based on a true story is Cocaine Bear?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm excited to watch it and see what's going on. And then this one, I told my wife, we both kind of got excited about it, is The Meg 2, The Trench. Because The Meg, again, was one of those movies that was better than it should have been.
Mm-hmm. It was.
And then, there's quite a few other movies that are coming out. Gran Turismo, which is based off of the PlayStation video game. I'm excited to kind of see what they're going to do with a racing game.
I bet you it's going to be the Fast and the Furious, but with different characters.
From what I've seen, is it's going to be based on like a true event. So I don't know. Plus Orlando Bloom's in it. I'm glad that he's still doing stuff. They have another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem coming out. Gremlins 3 apparently was announced that it's going to be coming out in 2023, and The Haunted Mansion. So I don't know.
It'll be interesting because we look at this list and the way Hollywood has evolved now. I'm guessing some of the movies we talked about won't even end up in theaters. They'll either get pushed back or pushed to home release, and there'll be a handful of others that get pushed up from streaming services to be in theaters too. But interesting to see how that all plays out.
They might be doing too what like Glass Onion did, where they released it for like the first 2 weeks in theaters and then put it on Netflix. And then same with what I think there was it Black Adam that was there and then it was on HBO. I don't know. There's some movies that are doing that are releasing in the theaters and then they're like, okay, here you go, stream it. So I don't know.
It is what it is. But
some stuff to look forward to.
If nothing else, there's enough movies that at least a couple movies every month. I'm like, okay, there's something that I'm excited for coming up. Not going through the dry spell that was 2021 of media entertainment.
Right.
Well, let us know what you think you are most excited about. Hit us up on social media at Get Geekish is our handle. Go on there, chime in, let us know what you're excited about seeing, and let's have some discussions, some lighthearted discussions.
Yes.
And you can tell me my
Yes.
opinions are awful, because they sometimes are. But
I have a feeling that Barbie movie is going to be better than you think it is.
I feel like I should record this right now just so I can play it back in a while. Right next to Spice World's an amazing movie.
Spice World is great. You shut your mouth.
All right, we'll talk at you next week. Hey, thanks for listening. We truly appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. Find us on social media at Get Geekish. And if you want more podcasts, we got plenty of them.